to the Wrestle Story. We discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Wednesday after AEW NXT, and every Friday after SmackDown. Hello, Zandel and Daniel.
What's up, my people?
What is going on?
Yes, how's everybody hanging? How's it going? What is up?
I would say Twitter world is like, annoying. Twitter world WWE fans.
This is true.
When they complain about a show, it's like ridiculous. I don't care who was there, who wasn't there, who they thought would be there, who, it's ridiculous.
So, okay.
Sorry, I had to start that off that way. All right, let's get the show started. AEW.
So, overall, I thought AEW was really decent. I enjoyed all of it.
Yes.
For the most part. The ending segment, I'll share my thoughts on the ending segment when we get towards the ending segment. But overall, I thought it was a very good show. There was definitely a twist I was not expecting. Fun stuff. So we start the show off with Jon Moxley. He comes out. He essentially just kind of rehashes everything he said on Saturday, talking about how the championship isn't his, it wasn't Jericho's, it's you people's belt.
Yes.
It is the belt of the people. And
it's the people's belt.
It's the people's belt, yes.
And he's the people's champion.
And
wait, that's The Rock.
He's essentially just rehashing that and talking about that. Then.
Hey, sorry to hear about that, Jono.
Yes. Hopefully we can cheer you up.
Yeah, we'll do what we can.
Yes. So Moxley rehashes everything from whatever Saturday. It was Saturday, not Sunday. I almost said Sunday. Yeah. Saturday. And then the inner circle, he says that nobody's gonna get in his way, and if he knows he's not done with Jericho in the inner circle, and that he's ready whenever, and he will take them on whenever.
Yes.
Why am I so out of frame, man? Generally, it's you that's out of frame. I don't know. We gotta scooch over just a smidge. Whoa. And so inner circle then comes out. Jericho then goes through this whole big spiel of, you don't want to take us on, and we used to be, just 5 guys who like to hang out, and now you've turned us into this, we're gonna beat you up dudes.
Yes.
Squad.
Beat you up dudes. Squad.
And so, Jericho then goes on to say, tonight we have our tag match, right? Right. If you leave the building on your own 2 feet, which you won't, I will go away for 30 days. And then he ups the ante and says, I will go away for 60 days if we don't keep you down and you walk out on your own 2 feet. And everybody's going, all right, no Jericho for 60 days? What? Sweet,
It didn't work out for people that wanted him to be away for 60 days. Let's just say that.
So, that was that. It was a fun little segment. I liked it.
Thought it was a good beginning.
It was a good way to start the show.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think so. We then get SCU and Colt Cabana versus Darkwater. SCU and Colt Cabana won. This was Colt Cabana's debut in AEW Dynamite.
Yes.
Before AEW Dynamite? That makes more sense. It was his debut tonight, and I thought it was a good match for what it was. I saw a couple people on Twitter like, oh, I don't understand why Darkwater's losing. It makes no sense to me. I thought they were supposed to be like this big group. Okay. They, as a group, I don't think are going to win jack squat until the Exalted One gets there. They are nothing without the Exalted One.
The thing about them is we've got a couple of mods, Daniel. The thing about them is I think the one thing about them, I think that it's like you said, I think they're gonna wait till the Exalted One comes in. Mm-hmm. But I think that the one thing about them is they will be. I think that when the Exalted One comes in, I think there's gonna be a couple others that come in too.
I agree.
Maybe not right away, but I think within time there'll be a couple others that come in. I see right now the Dark Order as being kind of a bunch of jobbers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at them, I don't see them as being like over the top type wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I see them as being jobbers right now.
Yeah.
But they're waiting to bring in the big, whoever, the Exalted One, the big dog. How you doing, James?
What's up? So Zendel, you asked if Colt Cabana is only with AEW now or if he is still with NWA. I will look into that. I'm gonna assume he's probably still with both, but I think he's going to probably focus on being in
AEW allows
AEW.
you, because from what I saw,
Several of them are in
AEW
many different leagues.
I think he's signed a contract where he can do other shows, but he'll primarily be an AEW.
That's what I'm thinking. Is he's mostly going to be on AEW, but he's going back and doing some stuff for NWA isn't going to be out of the question.
It's kind of like MJF with Major League Wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what it's kind of going to be, because I don't think they'd really just be like, no, you're only with us now.
Yeah.
I think if the NWA still wanted to use him, I think they would be okay with that.
Yeah.
And let him go. So, yeah, like I said, I don't get the whole thing about people being like, oh, well, Dark Order shouldn't, why are they losing? I don't get it. Like, doesn't make any sense. They aren't going to win anything until the Exalted One gets there.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just the way it is. So then Darkwater gets on the mic after, and they say, this is ridiculous. The Exalted One is going to be furious. He's going to be furious. This is not okay. You will pay.
Yeah.
Like, that was along the lines of what it was. Short, sweet, simple. The Exalted One isn't going to be very happy. I also saw people on Twitter being like, oh, well, why? If they don't unveil the Exalted One soon, it's going to be similar to the whole Rowan in his cage and what's in his cage. And I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, MJF took a screenshot of the tattoo on the crease. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. What are you even talking, like, Rowan's cage and this whole Exalted One thing are two totally different things, and people are interested in who the Exalted One is.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not like that's going to go away overnight.
No, I don't think so.
Which is why I don't think you can even compare the two.
Well, it's
and
not.
people
I
that
don't
are
think so.
comparing the two are just straight up ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, it is nowhere near the whole what's in Rowan's cage thing.
The thing I like about it is I would guess they're building more towards either right before a pay-per-view or at a pay-per-view where they show off the Exalted One.
Yeah. So I don't get it. I don't know what.
I mean, that's just kind of the way I see it.
I don't get people on Twitter sometimes. We then get a recap of Paige and Kenny versus the Young Bucks. Best match on the Revolution card this past weekend. It was amazing. If you haven't seen it, I advise you do, because it was amazing.
Yeah.
Greatest match on the card. We then get Cody. Oh, no, we don't. We get Big Swole versus Leva Bates. I forgot about this. Big Swole won. I don't know what they're going to do from here with this. But Britt Baker was on commentary again. So that's cool.
Yeah, and she's getting better. I think she's getting better on commentary.
100%.
She's starting to feel more comfortable. I wonder if this wasn't the plan, was to try and get her more comfortable doing the promo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then try and get her out there, like, in big matches.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's done a lot better on commentary and doing the speaking now than she did when she first started out.
100% agree. So Big Swole won. Leva Bates, the whole librarian thing, I just don't, it's not good. I don't like it.
I like it if they do it right.
Yeah, except the thing is, they just haven't really, I don't know, done it right. They haven't really focused on it all that much. But
well,
it's
and I
just,
think that's the issue, is I think that they need to do something with it.
you know, it's
but
not.
I think it's a good thing.
It would depend on how they they build it, I suppose. But currently,
you
I'm
can
just
bring the librarian in and go, hey, you know what? I know all about you. I've studied you. I've looked you up. I know I'm the librarian. I know exactly what you do. I know your moves. And now I'm going to destroy you.
Which I suppose could be cool. But I don't know. Just what they've done with them thus far, like, you know. I don't know.
Thing is, I think if you're around someone that has it, I don't think sanitizer is going to do a lot of good.
Nope.
And for as many people as to be there, I think it would be tough to keep it from spreading. Now we'll talk about this here in a little bit. Once we get to the WWE stuff, I'll talk about it and tell you because there's some other things going on too that I saw with the whole coronavirus and stuff. So I'll let you know here just a little bit. Yeah. You heard us stand back. There's a hurricane coming through, but now stand back. I have
coronavirus. That's funny.
I guess that'd be one way you could get through a line pretty quick.
Everybody would be like, whoa,
yeah.
Step back. So
I believe I'm in the front row.
We then get Cody. He comes out, he says, as a professional wrestler, you dream of making it on a pay-per-view card. You dream of making it, to the big time, big top of the mountain, top of the pyramid, top of the whatever you want to call it. And then he says, I can get past all of everything if MJF comes out, looks me in the eyes, and says he beat me fair and square. That line right there, I was like, what, huh? That made a little, I was like, huh, what? He was, talking about, all the rings, and the lashes, and the this, and the cage match, and all this stuff I had to go through. I'm okay with all of it if MJF comes out here and says to my face, he beat me fair and square. I was like, what? Did that make any sense?
Yeah, it made sense.
Did it though? I don't know. Maybe it was just me and the way I interpreted it.
Well, because it was the fact that he went through all this stuff to get to MJF,
and then he ended
up to have a match that he thought was going to be him versus MJF without any
anything, and not the diamond ring,
something
and not
stupid
anything.
happening. And
I guess from that standpoint of it,
MJF
I
pulls
suppose
out
it
the
made
ring
sense.
and knocks him out, and so I think that's why he's going, okay,
I
come out face to face, eye to eye, and tell me that you
beat me fair and square.
I
suppose so. I guess that makes sense in that standpoint. In the moment, and looking on it, I was just kind of like, what? That didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I guess it does now. And then Jake the Snake Roberts comes out.
Awesome.
I was like, what? Wait a minute. I didn't know who it was at first because I didn't recognize the music. And then when they showed the screen and dude came out.
I knew it.
Well, I know what his music sounds like. It was just different from what it was. What it, generally is. And what they have in WWE.
I knew who it was.
And his music hit and I was like, what? Who is this? And then it was Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes,
and I was
cool.
like, what?
I thought that's
I'm intrigued now. And he comes out, he says, I'm tired of listening to you bitch and moan about one measly loss? Not lost.
Yeah,
Whoa. Speaking. Don't know how to do that. He says, I lost many matches in my career and I didn't go and complain about it. Why should you? I just came out here to tell you I'm coming to slay you.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, Jake.
See, at first I was like, wait a minute,
dude,
what?
You're having trouble.
This is
You're gonna die.
I was looking at this, and I was like, wait a minute.
Darby Allin is awesome.
I was like, when he first came out, I was like, no, you're not gonna challenge Cody, are you? But I was intrigued. I was like, what is he gonna say? Is he coming out to challenge Cody? Is he not what's he gonna do here?
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, Jake, you can't challenge him. He'll kill you.
When he said that, he was like, I came to slay you. And I was like, what? And then he said,
But it was awesome because that's what everybody else is saying. It's like, whoa.
What?
Snake Roberts is going to get in the ring and fight.
He got a huge reaction.
Yeah, it's like.
And he says, I have a client coming to AEW. The darkness is coming or the dark side is coming. I don't know which it was. But I am really intrigued to see who he brings in. I've seen a lot of people speculating that it's going to be Brody Lee, formerly known as Luke Harper. That's what I've seen. And I think that could be a fun one.
think they've got some guys coming in that people.
I want them to do
you
the
have
whole
Matt
snake
Hardy
thing.
out there. You have Luke Harper out there. You have Lance Archer out there. You have
the potential Matt Hardy. You have so many people that are.
Yeah, I mean there's some people out there that could be.
You have lots of people that could potentially be coming down the road, like the Revival.
Yeah.
I mean.
So, I think they have some ideas in the works, and they're gonna have some big stars coming in. And I think it's going to give a shot in the arm to AEW. Not that they need it.
AEW?
Huh?
A shot in the arm to AEW?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
I think it's going to be a shot in the arm to AEW because I think that people will go, whoa.
Whoa.
They've got some wrestlers that have some name here and.
Okay, so if it's going to be Brody Lee, I want them. If he's going to be paired up with Jake the Snake, I want him to bring out a bag that has a snake in it.
That'd be cool.
Because you haven't seen anything like that, like, since Jake the Snake. And they don't do that type of stuff in WWE. And so I think it would be so freaking cool to see this guy come out. He's got the bag on his shoulder, and he just has a giant snake. And he just, like, throws it in the ring.
Yeah.
And... like, I have memories of watching, it was like a Royal Rumble or something, I think. And it was Andre the Giant and Jake the Snake Roberts came out. And Andre the Giant was killing everybody.
And Andre the Giant cracked himself with the snake came out.
And then Andre the Giant threw himself over the top rope because he didn't like snakes.
Yeah.
And I was like, just like things like that would be so cool to see.
Yeah.
And so I think they should do something like that. If this guy, whoever he brings in, if they're going to be working with him, they need to do something like that.
I agree.
To kind of, pay homage to him, I guess. And not only is he going to be there in the corner, but just to, a little something extra.
Yeah.
It would be so cool.
I think that if they did something like that, it'd be awesome.
And I would love it. And I think it'd be really, really cool. So I was definitely not expecting this. I was like, whoa, cool. Wasn't expecting this. And yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool how they did it.
It's nuts. Because I don't think anybody was expecting that.
No.
Not at all. So then we had Pac versus Chuck Taylor. I believe Pac won this, but during this match, our TV in the kitchen kept cutting in and out, and so I was like, what the garbage is happening here?
Yeah.
And so I had to go to Twitter for the results, and it was looking like people were saying that Pac won. If he didn't win, correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure he did, because I don't think Chuck Taylor won.
Yeah.
So Pac won, and then the Lucha Bros come out to help him, and then they announced that they are now going to be known as Death Triangle. That is going to be their trio.
Yeah.
And so...
Till Pac turns on him.
Alrighty.
They make him mad and he turns on him.
It's a little bit of a weird name, I suppose. Like, Death Triangle. I wouldn't have picked the three of them and then been like, Death Triangle. That's what your name is,
Yeah. Kind of
weird. It's a weird pairing, a weird matchup.
Which is why I think it'll be good till...
Pac by KO. Alright.
I think it'll be good till
Pac
turns
on them.
The Lucha Brothers.
It's definitely a weird
combo.
Definitely,
yeah.
So I'm expecting Death Triangle versus Orange Cassidy and Best Friends.
Yeah.
Down the road here in a bit.
Probably. I think that's all they're setting up here is that.
I think so, and then the Death Triangle's probably gonna be dead.
Yeah.
Probably.
I would say so.
So we then get Jake Hager versus QT Marshall. This match ended in a disqualification of some sort because Jake Hager would not stop beating up QT Marshall after the ref told him to stop.
Yes. And
so the ref called it. Dustin then comes in, goes after Hager.
How you doing, Red Vipers?
It's Red Vipers. What is up? Dustin goes after Hager after to try and stop him. Inner Circle then comes back to help. It was Santana and Ortiz and what's his face? I can't think of what his name is.
Santana and Ortiz and what's his face?
Santana and Ortiz and
doing good.
Sammy. I think it was it Sammy? Was Sammy out there? I don't think it was Sammy. I think it was just Santana and Ortiz. I might be making things up here. Sammy had a match later, which is why I don't think it was out there.
Yeah.
Santana and Ortiz. So.
Yeah.
Santana and Ortiz.
Yes.
They helped beat up Dustin, and then Cody came out, and then Cody got beat up, and then Matt Jackson came out, and then he got beat up, and then Adam Page came out, and then...
When I open my eyes, I see light.
Adam Page saved the day.
Yeah.
Adam Page is a superhero.
He is a superhero.
He really is. He really is. Superhero. Adam Page is my favorite.
Yeah.
Literal favorite of life.
I agree.
I love him so much.
He is on the right page, no doubt about it.
I thought Hager won by submission. Maybe he did. I don't know, but when I saw it, I thought the ref called a disqualification because he wouldn't get off of him. I could be wrong, though. That might not have been what happened.
Well, I was confused because...
It might have been a submission. Because then right after all this happened, Dustin, hopped in the ring and tried to, beat Hager up. And so it was all just kind of what? But, whatever. So, yeah, Adam Page, he's my favorite. I guess you can say he's on the right page. So I love him. He's my favorite. He literally came out. He had his beer in his hand. And he set the beer on the corner of the ring or whatever, on the...
When he came out, I wasn't sure what he was going to do.
I wasn't either. But he set his beer on the corner of the thing. He went and beat people up. The beer was fine there. It didn't fall over or anything. Nope. And then he went back after and grabbed it. And then Matt, got all up in his... they, kind of got in each other's faces. And he was like... And Paige was like... Mm-mm. And he flipped him off. And that was cool.
Yeah.
And then he walked out. He spilled the beer everywhere, all
Good
over his
segment.
face. And then he got, 10 beers from the crowd.
Yeah.
And it was
Maybe
real
with
funny.
dad jokes.
It was real funny. So Adam Page, he's a superstar, man.
I thought it was, the thing about it was, and then he posted on Twitter, I can't believe people give me $100 for beer.
Literally, when he walked out, he had, 6 different drinks in his hand.
Yeah.
Couple, 2 cups, and then he had, a whole bunch of bottles.
Yeah.
It was nuts. This guy is so ridiculously over. It's not even funny. So we then get told that next week we're getting Ortiz versus Cody. I'm assuming there might be some type of an appearance from Jake the Snake.
James, don't go outside.
Jake the Snake and
nobody is safe.
His mystery client. I'm thinking there might be some type of showing up.
Yeah.
Something during this match. Death Triangle's making their debut next week. And then we're also getting Jurassic Express versus MJF and Butcher and Blade.
Yes.
We then get an MJF promo. He says he will be the #1 contender. Doesn't matter who he has to go through.
Hangman's gonna have bad liver. Yes.
It doesn't matter who he has to go through, but YOLO. It doesn't matter who he has to go through. He is going to be the #1 contender.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Ghost is Anonymous.
And so, yeah, that's that. It was really funny. He was like, "Oh, is it hot in here?" And he took off his jacket, and then he said it had an "I Beat Cody" shirt on. Jeez, man, words are hard.
Yeah.
So he had a shirt on, said "I Beat Cody," and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I had this on. This was, how silly of me.
Yeah.
So sorry,
Where was Allie?
Allie wasn't on tonight. Well, she's going to be on next week.
Yeah. They only had the one women's segment.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But again, their women need work, James.
Oh, boy. Yes, they do. So...
I'm all for putting the women out there, but they need to have a lot of work before they, in my opinion.
I agree. To an extent. We then get Moxley and Darby versus Sammy and Jericho.
Where is Private Party?
I don't know.
That is a good question.
I don't know where they're at either.
Well, I think the one thing about it is with AEW, since they do allow their performers to go other places, and right now they probably don't have a storyline for them, I'm guessing.
Probably.
I think that they they might be, in another organization or doing something else as of right now.
Yeah.
That's just a guess.
So.
Well, I rest my point.
Inner Circle attacks Moxley before the match. He's coming out through the crowd, and there's these 3 masked dudes, and I was like, who is this? Because me and, my smart brain didn't think, oh, it's the other members of the Inner Circle. Yeah. Go me. So, 3 dudes in masks attack him. It ends up being Hager, Santana, and Ortiz. And then Darby is like, I'm going to fight Sammy and Jericho by myself. Jericho then wins. Moxley then comes back out, and then Jericho and company throw Moxley through the table. So Jericho will not be gone for 60 days because Moxley did not walk out of the building.
I thought this was a good way to end
At
it.
least he did not walk out of the building while on TV.
I know some people, I was expecting, someone to make an appearance or something. But I'm okay with that. After I thought about it, I was a little disappointed at first. But after I thought about it, if they do every week where they have, someone, just show up.
Then everybody's going to
come
always expect it.
And so I think doing it this way I thought was good.
Okay, I'm going to just have to look this up real quick because I want to know if they actually... I remember them putting out a tweet about...
Question is, Jonelle,
Lance Archer.
Is he going to go to AEW? I know that he had the video today with Matt Jackson and both the Young Bucks, or the Bucks that are young, or however he stated. The Bucks of Youth, I think is what he called them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that it's kind of weird. I don't know what some of the stuff he's saying.
Research.
Because he's also talking about the Fiend. And some of the things with the Fiend, let me in. So I think this is going to play out for a while before we exactly know where he's going to go.
Yep.
I think he's truly going to take a look at
everywhere,
different places, and see which one he wants to go to. I don't think he'll go back to WWE.
I don't think so.
If you watch his stuff over the last several weeks, he's taken shots at WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't think he's going to go back there. Now, I don't think he's leaving on bad terms or anything like that, based on, what I watched.
Yeah, essentially he said that they were just in 2 creative different places.
Yeah.
He wanted more creative freedom, and
yeah.
they're just not there.
So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he comes to AEW, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't come to AEW.
I need to look.
You need to look.
This Twitter. I have to scroll through here. I need to look and see. Huh?
Can I bring up the next thing?
Yes, sure. That's fine.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to find this tweet where they said what day.
What day?
I didn't even see this tweet from 5 days ago. The Exalted One lives in your bad dreams. Really now. I'm trying to find this tweet where they said when Lance Archer.
I would not be shocked if he does that,
debuting.
James. Right now, I think he's truly looking at going various places. While you're looking for tweets, I'll give you my thoughts on the coronavirus. I don't know if they'll shut down WrestleMania or not. I think if it gets worse, I think there's a possibility it could happen. I think we'll just kind of have to play it by ear and see what happens with as far as the spreading of this. I do know that a lot of people are like, well, it's no big deal, it's only killing people that have a weak immune system. But you have people out there that seem healthy, that have weak immune systems that this could affect. Yeah, I got one right here. So
I'm not leaving the house ever again.
When you have that, just sitting here going, well, it's only affecting people with weak immune systems. If you have people with asthma and they get around this, what's going to happen?
It messes up your lungs.
I mean, I don't know. So I don't think it's as easy as sitting here going, well, it's a healthy person to be okay. Well, who do you know who? We don't know who's healthy and who isn't. Who has Crohn's? I mean,
see,
you don't
I'm
know
a
who
normal
has Crohn's
person.
just walking down the street.
I'm a normal person. I look like I'm fine. But I am on medicine that helps my intestines, and so my immune system is like dwindled down to nothing, so I can be able to take the medicine.
Yeah.
Because if I have an immune system, then the medicine won't work. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get
before we go to
coronavirus.
NXT, I don't know. I was happy to see 1-2 Oni and Danny. Yes.
Did they take the tweet down? Because I can't find it.
I don't know. I'm sick, but I don't think that I'll have it. But I'm staying on all week. Yeah, that's okay. Just rest up, Zando.
Yes.
What about the Revival? Did they go to AEW? It would not shock me. If they go to in fact, that's probably the best place for them if they want exposure. If they want to kind of stick it to WWE, I think that's the best place for them.
Yeah.
Hey, Gleen and Maven, Jake. How you doing, Elijah? Jake the Snake Roberts is manager for who? Lee or Archer. Next was boring. NXT was boring. NXT was boring. Hello, it was good. Well, I thought it was boring compared to some of the other things.
The Iron Sheik's Twitter.
I break the coronavirus back, put it in a camel clutch. That's funny.
His Twitter
That's hilarious.
is gold. It really is.
And
then, who needs a vaccine when you have the Sheik?
Yeah. I have asthma. That won't be good for me. No, it won't be, James. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have asthma. We have 2 kids in the house that have asthma. We have Maven who has Crohn's.
Mm-hmm.
So, something like that could affect them. Jake the Snake Roberts promo killed NXT ratings. I tell you what, he was awesome.
I loved it. It was great.
He might not be able to wrestle anymore and get in the ring.
But he can
But
still
the
cut
dude
a
can
mean
still
promo.
sell tickets just with his promos.
Mm-hmm. So, NXT.
He could be a good manager for somebody.
Which I think he will be. I think he's going to be an excellent
I
manager.
hope they use him as a legitimate manager and
for
not
whoever,
like a one-time thing where they bring him in or a 2-time thing.
I hope not. I hope he's
I hope that as long as he's
full-time.
healthy enough, I hope they keep him around and use him.
Yeah.
When will Randy show up on NXT to RKO Beth again? I don't know. I don't know if he'll show up.
He can be a writer for AEW or a producer.
I like him as a performer, man. Just the stuff he does.
Me too.
And he got to cut loose.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell what he was doing.
It
was
wasn't
his own
all.
stuff.
It wasn't all
It wasn't
scripted.
them
It
giving him
was
something
natural.
to say. It was him going out there and saying the things, and
It was natural,
yeah.
and it got over on its own, and it didn't seem forced. Like a lot of the stuff that WWE.
Do y'all think Brody Lee teams with Shawn Spears? As of right now, I would say no.
I think so. So.
When Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly have cut a promo, do you think they're starting to split Undisputed Era? I've been saying Undisputed Era is going to split up for a while, so I'm going to stick with that. I think Undisputed Era is going to split up. I don't know when, but it's coming.
Agreed. AEW got Matt Hardy and Raven and Jake the Snake Roberts as a producer.
Oh, if they had all 3 of them, would be awesome.
So, now we got NXT. Honestly, okay, guys. NXT hasn't been bad. But the last several weeks, I have enjoyed AEW more. Because I think NXT, I don't know what is up with NXT recently. It's not like it's been bad, but it just hasn't been as good as it has been over the last couple months. You know, like the last 3 or 4 weeks just haven't been as good.
Yeah, it hasn't been as good.
And I
think
like
one of the issues you have right now is AEW has kind of stole the spotlight. They've had some good shows.
And
I think that's what hurt. I don't know that NXT is bad.
No, it's definitely not bad.
The fact that you have AEW that's put on some good shows.
It's definitely not bad. I have just enjoyed AEW more.
I was getting a lot of heat on Twitter for what I said about Orton 40 to the Beth too. James, that's because you're a bad guy. That's why you're getting heat.
So
Undisputed Era better not split up. They're going to, Little Fetchine. It's just a matter of when. Sorry, just happened. just gonna tell you, it's It's gonna happen.
So we start the show off with Dakota versus Tegan in a cage match. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This was good up until the end. I disliked the way it ended. I thought it was just kind of a cheap way to end it, and I didn't love it. It was creative.
I will tell you right now, here's the thing. NXT is starting to feel a lot like the main roster with some things, where there are no storylines, there's no build up to some stuff, and I know that they have a couple storylines going right now, but there's just some things that I just feel like it's just out of the blue stuff.
On NXT?
Yeah.
Lately, which also might be why I haven't enjoyed it as much.
And so I don't know that it, they need to get some storylines with like really good storylines. Yeah. And
I think this one with the end of the show and the way the show ended, I think they could have a really good storyline going into TakeOver Tampa, but I'll get to that.
Well, the Tegan
in a little
Dakota
bit.
steel cage match. Glad for Dakota, she got the win with the help of Raquel. Yes.
So, this match was good up until the ending. I thought the ending was creative, but I just didn't like it. Dakota ended up like walking out of the steel cage because Tegan was on the top of the cage and she got pinned behind the door in the cage. She got pinned between the door and the cage because Raquel was standing there holding it.
Jonelle, I would wait till after Elimination Chamber to really start building my storylines for NXT TakeOver.
I just
wait till after this weekend. It is this weekend, right? Yeah. After this weekend, then I would, of course, obviously now that we're past Wednesday, so.
See, the sad thing
I would say next week is when you really start to see some building of. I mean, obviously there's going to be Gargano and Ciampa. And
most likely Dream versus Cole based on what they did tonight.
Yeah.
And then the women's ladder match for the number one contender. And then there's also probably going to be
there was probably 2 more matches somewhere.
Probably a
Killer Cross debut.
What is it called?
TikTok.
What is it called? The tag team titles? That'll probably be a match. And so that's that, So I just didn't like the ending. I thought it was very unique and creative, but I just didn't like it.
I can't with Grimes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's going to take the title off Keith Lee.
So
I'm just saying.
We then get a Rhea Mania video, which I thought this was good. This was fun. And then there was some type of Finn Balor thing between here, but I didn't see it because I was trying to watch AEW. And I was like trying to pay attention to both. So I didn't see the Finn Balor thing, but there was something about Finn Balor in like a promo or something. And then we had Chelsea Green versus Shotzi Blackheart. Okay. 2 things. One, what are we doing with Shotzi Blackheart? 2, I don't like that she lost. Because if you were going to have Chelsea Green win, you should have put her in a match with somebody else who wasn't Shotzi Blackheart, because if you're trying to build Shotzi Blackheart up as a potential new top women's star, then she probably shouldn't be losing to Chelsea Green, who has been on quite the losing streak herself up until like last week.
Well, that's the issue I have with her is I thought they were going to try to build her up.
And then she lost like 3 matches in a row. And then they had her win last week against Kaden Carter, which that doesn't really mean it that much. Or 2 weeks ago it was. If you're trying to build Shotzi Blackheart up as one of your up-and-coming stars to take the place of like a Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair or an Io Shirai or something when they get, moved over to Raw or SmackDown because they need them over there, then I just don't think this is the best way to do it.
I think it's okay. You got her out on TV, so I think you have to give Green a win.
If you wanted her to win, you should have put her against somebody else who wasn't Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi Blackheart needs to go back to the drawing board and get her a gimmick.
I like her gimmick. I think it's different and it's fun.
I will say I think it's different, but you know.
It is different than 90% of the women on that roster. She has a very different gimmick, a very different style. And so I like her a lot for that aspect of it. It's just a matter of them using her properly, you know?
Yeah.
So we have that. Green one. We then get...
Yeah, sure, maybe Shotzi Blackheart on Raw team with Ruby Riott and call them the Ruby Heart. Y'all gotta admit, NXT showcases all their women unlike the tools AEW that treat their women like utter garbage. The thing is, James, NXT does
NXT women's division and AEW women's division are two completely different. They're on two completely different levels.
Yeah.
Like, they just really are.
Plus the fact, like I said about the men, I mean, I think that with a lot of them, I think they're doing other shows also. And their roster's not real huge with women. They don't have like a ton of women.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're doing other shows, it makes it kind of tough to... I think Britt Baker's probably one of the few that's probably...
They're full-time.
Just an AEW.
I mean, but even then, she's not really... I mean, she's full-time, but she's like a dentist too, so she's doing that sometimes also. So you know...
So
I'd say she's about the only one that's like completely AEW.
Yeah.
So, we then get Keith Lee. Keith Lee comes out. He says, Dijakovic and Priest all want shots at me. And then Cameron Grimes comes out, and I'm just like, why? I don't like this guy. Why? He's annoying and stupid, and I don't like his hat. So he comes out and says, you shouldn't be worried about Dijakovic or Priest. Lee then goes on to say you've made a grave mistake. Says that match, Grimson says that match at TakeOver was a 5-star match. But next week, Regal gave me the chance to fight for the North American title. And then Keith Lee's like, well, alrighty then. And then he just throws him out of the ring. And yeah, cool.
Never asked you guys, but thoughts on Nyla Rose as the AEW's Women's Champion?
I don't have a problem with it. I just like, I don't know. There's nobody to take the title off of her,
and I have a problem with it, but you know, that's beside the point.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't like. I don't like the idea that you have transgenders coming in and taking the title off of women.
I am more so the problem I have with it. The problem I have with it is like
don't get me wrong, because I don't have issues with transgender people, okay? But I have issues with transgender men, you know, going over and performing in the women's sports. And I don't think that this really is any different, because it is entertainment, but it's a sport. And if physically you are bigger, stronger, you're going to have an advantage. And the transgenders that are competing in sports are winning championships. And so I have issues with transgender men. Now, if it's a transgender woman going over and doing men's sports, then okay, I don't have issues with that. But the men are physically, even though, you know, they are bigger, they can't cross over and do the women's sports just because, you know, they want to be the woman. Because I feel that because they're a man, they have the man's muscles and things like that. And it's obviously happening all over the country in sports with transgender men, transgender women, men going to women. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Winning
championships and taking away from the women that aren't physically as strong. And in fact, there's been a couple of places that have sued because of transgender men coming over into the transgender or coming into the women's division and competing, and I just don't like that. That's the only issue I have. I have no problems with transgender people, but when you're talking about something like this and sports and things like that, then I have the issue.
See, like with the aspect of her being, you know, bigger and stronger, to me it's almost like, well, what about the bigger women that we have in wrestling? Wouldn't they be the equivalent to Nyla? Like Nia Jax? You know, Nia Jax is a female, but she is way bigger than 90% of the roster they have for the women's division at WWE. And so to me, it's almost like I don't get that whole aspect as to why people think that's, you know, they have an issue with it. Because it's no different than some of the bigger women that you have
Velveteen Dream was dope.
Anywhere else who are women, you know, that were women to start with, you know. So, like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have the only issue I have with it was the fact that she took it off of Riho after, like, being beaten by Riho, like, 95 times, and that was what I was just like, huh? What? Didn't make any sense to me. Which I 100% get that, little fettuccine, but like to me it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's like if we're looking at the aspect of like she's bigger and you know stronger or whatever, like, but I just don't get how that makes a difference when you have bigger women in
because women are the men are more men are just naturally have more strength and more, you know, the muscle mass is different. How you doing, Clark? I don't think right now I don't think Ricochet moves the needle just because I don't think they've used him right is the big problem. We were asked about Nyla Rose. Do we think she should be the champion? We actually started talking about NXT, and then we had a question about Nyla Rose being the champion of AEW's women's division.
Yeah.
And I gave my opinion that I don't see the issue I have is transgender men competing in women's sports at anywhere. I don't like it.
Mhm.
I agree. It's WWE's fault as far as the Ricochet thing goes. Chelsea Green's character is like a bad rich girl, right, Gleen? I don't understand what they're doing with her. I mean, she's another one I have no clue.
She lost 45 times in a row, and now they're like, oh, we gotta rebrand her. Like, I don't get it.
Like, when she had her protege with her, I thought that they were gonna make her be a big deal, and then they didn't. And so I don't know. The AEW faithful likes to crap on WWE for advertising matches of wrestlers and not delivering. Where are they? Lance Archer, who was scheduled for tonight, isn't on the show. Hypocrites. The thing is, I don't have any issues with him not showing up. I know a lot of people do.
I don't either.
So I don't know. Maybe he was sick, and he couldn't make it. Maybe something. I mean, there could be something that happened.
Or maybe they decided, wait a minute, we're not gonna have him debut here. We're gonna just save him and use him at a later date.
Could have done that too.
So. I'm afraid
I agree.
On WWE.
Well, and this is Scott. This is what I've talked about. Is a wrestling fan would like wrestling no matter what it is, as long as you know you're putting out a decent show.
A lot
and
of people.
The problem is you have a lot of WWE fans that will absolutely not like AEW, no matter what they do, and you're gonna have AEW fans that are not gonna like what WWE does, no matter what they do.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that
no one's ever gonna be happy.
You're gonna have people that are just that way, and me personally, if it's good wrestling, I will state it's good wrestling. If it's something I didn't like, I will state that I don't like it. You guys those of you that have been around with us for a long time now, know that I will tell you what I think, and I'll listen to other opinions, and sometimes you may change my mind, sometimes you won't.
I've heard Maura say Chelsea Green was from Colombia. Any truth to that? I don't know.
I don't know, James.
Chelsea
Who can you put up Candice LeRae in story where I don't know, Jon O. I don't know what to do with her. Maybe as world champion, I want to mind, but she's a character that's mean girl who don't care, get on the mic and has a funny personality. Yes.
Yeah, she's
don't need a lot of debuts, guys. You don't need everybody.
She's from British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah. Who should win the NXT Women's Tournament?
Bianca, I don't know. It'll probably be like Dakota or something, which I don't know.
I don't know. I hear QT Marshall could turn on Dustin and be Q Dust. That's funny. Dream did pretty good. NXT is the best brand. Dream beat all of them up, and it looked real enough. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I do think, and we said this a little bit ago, observing stuff, that we feel that both of us feel that AEW has done better
the last couple weeks than NXT has. So yeah, we're getting Grams. We're getting Grams versus Lee next week. Grimes versus Lee next week for the North American title. Oh boy, I hope he gets squished like a bug, because I don't like Cameron Grimes. I don't like his stupid hat, and I don't like his stupid face. And I think he's not good. I don't like him. I don't get the gimmick. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't like him.
Iconics.
I just don't like him.
Interesting.
So, then we get Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan versus the Undisputed Era.
Oh yeah, it's the best brand in WWE. Definitely.
Undisputed
Thank you, Heel Maven.
Undisputed Era wins, and then Fish and O'Reilly get on mic to say they say our titles are with some undeserving tag team. The loserweights. The bruiserweights come out. Riddle says, "You want a rematch?" And then they get they get attacked by the Grizzly Young veterans. And then they say, as far as they're concerned, they should get a shot at the tag team titles. So this is turning into.
I like Cameron Grimes also.
This is going to be a fatal four-way, probably ladder match for TakeOver Tampa.
So forward.
I heard they added Forgotten Sons into it, which I don't like.
The loserweight OMG Maven turn into the female of The Rock.
All right. So apparently, okay. So this was a qualifying match tonight. Chelsea Green versus Shotzi Blackheart was a qualifying match to go to the TakeOver Tampa ladder match to determine a number one contender.
They are.
It was? What? So Chelsea Green advances.
Has Matt Hardy showed up in AEW yet? No. A prediction and a question. LOL. I don't know if he's going to go to AEW.
I don't either.
He's throwing a lot of hints out there as to where he could go. I think he's legitimate. I think he's legitimately going to take the time to think about where he wants to end up.
Yes.
I like Shotzi Tank, but then I don't. Gets character and her theme don't fit. Yeah. Hey, Grimes is from North Carolina, and no, I don't like the Tool.
So I'm assuming this is probably going to turn into a fatal four-way match for the tag team titles at TakeOver Tampa. It's probably going to be the Bruiserweights versus Undisputed Era versus the Grizzly Young Veterans versus the Forgotten Sons. I'm going to guess. I'm going to assume that's probably where we're going. I don't like that the Forgotten Sons are being put in there, but hey, whatever. It'll be a good match regardless when they make it and whatever happens with it. I don't know who walks out with the titles, though. I could very well see them putting them on the Grizzly Young Veterans, but I could also see them letting the Bruiserweights retain. They're not going back on Undisputed
I agree.
Era.
AEW is probably the best landing spot for him.
The tag team titles are not going back on Undisputed Era.
No.
Not anytime soon.
No.
They're not winning them back.
No.
Because they're all losing their titles.
Hardy versus Aldis.
They just are.
Would definitely be a good match. An interesting match.
So we then get Austin Theory versus Isaiah Swerve Scott.
New Japan Wrestling. I know we mentioned New Japan Wrestling in his video. I just don't see.
No, Matt needs to not
go
to
New Japan Wrestling.
NWA. That's funny.
I would not be shocked if he didn't make some appearances at some of these different organizations before he decides exactly where he's going to go.
So, Austin Theory versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. I thought this was a decent match. Didn't have any problems with it. Theory won. I think that was the right choice if you're trying to build this guy up. Maybe, okay, prediction time. Grimes doesn't win next week. They continue building up Keith Lee. We then get Keith Lee versus Austin Theory for the North American title at TakeOver Tampa. I think that could be a cool match.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would like, very much so, for Austin Theory to go after the North American Championship.
I think there's a possibility you can see that deserving stuff where he shows up in different spots until he decides exactly where he's going to go. Ultimately, I think he's going to end up in AEW.
Yes. Agreed.
But I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't bounce around a little bit.
Agreed.
Before then.
So, yes, that's that. We then got Johnny Gargano winning. What?
Keith Lee versus 4 guys in a ladder match.
Let's not. I don't want to see Keith Lee versus Damian Priest. I don't want to see Keith. Oh my gosh, that's what they're gonna do. Elijah, why did you say that? It's going to be Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic versus Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes for the North American title at TakeOver Tampa. Why did you say that? Why did you put that into the universe? I can't even. That's what's gonna happen now.
How long is Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox feud gonna last? I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't go to TakeOver.
Don't blame me.
And then I think it'll end.
Don't blame me. Blame Triple H. Well,
that would not shock me, Jono.
So we then get the Johnny Gargano interview. I actually really like this. I thought this was good. Ciampa says, or no. Moxley says, Ciampa knows why you attacked him.
Hey, thanks for the follow, TTVICU.
Ciampa. Mora says, Ciampa knows why you attacked him. We want to know why. Johnny says, you tell the world our stories.
Did you guys see the scarf dude flip off a kid? My friend is a teacher, and as he was joking, says that is his favorite wrestling now.
MJF? Question mark. I like Scarf Dude better. Can we just call him Scarf Dude?
Yeah.
Somebody should put that out.
That's funny.
Somebody should put that out in a tweet and go, Scarf Dude, you know?
Yeah.
Scarf Dude.
Well, that goes along with like the whole thing he did on Twitter where the kid had his tonsils taken out and the guy tweeted, "My son will be able to watch. My son's gonna be able to watch Cody versus MJF."
And he told him, "Well,
and then MJF said, "Well, he should have had his eyes taken out too, because he's not gonna see that." So.
And then I thought it was so funny. MJF.
I forget his initials, so I say Scarf Dude. That's funny.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yes.
MJF. Or MJF, if you need. MJF, you know.
MJF.
I don't know how you spell that. MJF.
How about Lee versus Leah Rush, Maven? No.
Yeah.
That'd be like Diesel versus
Rey Mysterio. I knew you were going to say that.
And I remember him being thrown through the side of a building. Sorry, that's just the thought I have of Rey Mysterio. I just can't take Mysterio serious when he faces the big guys.
So,
MJF, Ted DiBiase, The Miz, Roddy Piper.
Right.
Definitely, I would say those are probably right there.
Oh, that's right.
I'll probably continue to say Scarf Dude now.
Maven
is influenced me.
I like Scarf Dude. It's the side of a trailer.
Yes, hey. Brock versus Ricochet. That's
right,
another
man.
one that reminds me of, a big guy throwing a little guy around.
Into the side of a trailer.
Yes, it was the side of a trailer. It just as well been a building.
This is...
yeah.
And it just probably
because they thought the trailer was softer than the building, and they knew he was going to be thrown through it, so...
Merlin asks, why all the sneak attacks? Johnny says, I looked that guy dead in the eyes. I knew exactly what I was doing. There was no sneak attack. Johnny then says, you don't know what I've been through. You just don't know. And then Mara's like, we just want to know why. And Johnny's like, why? And then Johnny's like, you know what? You know why. The fact of the matter is, if you admit it, you You are not a liar. You are a liar. Johnny then grabs the camera and says, you know why, Ciampa. Next week, we are doing this the Johnny Gargano way. I think Johnny Gargano is off his rocker. I think he's gone nuts. I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but I think he's crazy. I'd like to know why he did this.
Johnny Gargano has flipped out.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think that loss to Finn kind of pushed him over the edge.
RVD versus Taker would be cool. Leva Bates, what's your thoughts?
She's okay.
I need to see more of her.
She's okay. Her blue hair is cool. Sasha's is cooler.
Before I can sit here and say, okay.
But I mean, whatever.
That I'm, one way or the other. Leva Bates needs to just turn on Librarian and go with the Inner Circle. Yeah, I think the one thing is we haven't seen a lot of her.
No.
It's like, saw her at the beginning, and then I think we saw her once like a month ago.
Yeah.
And then we saw her just recently.
So.
Today.
Yeah.
Recently. No Gleen, take her face RVD for the hardcore title. Yeah, that'd be cool.
RVD isn't my favorite wrestler, but he's my favorite person in WWE when I hear stories about him. So, I like this whole Johnny Gargano thing. Moro was literally like, Johnny, like, what is, Johnny, are you okay? Like, Johnny, why are you trying to push me around, man? What'd I ever do to you? I felt bad for Moro, because this, whole situation, he was just kind of like, But it was good, and I liked it.
Johnny's turn and why? Because they need a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling.
I'm okay with it.
Because he's turning because...
I'm curious to see everybody, this whole situation is, Ciampa's like, I know why you turned, Johnny. And now Johnny's like, yeah, you do know why I turned. And everybody else is like, what? We don't know why you turned? Can you tell us? And he's like not telling us. So I can't wait till we get to the point where he's like, he actually gives us the explanation as to why he turned.
Okay, WWE isn't this smart.
But he said that Morrow knows why he turned too. But it's like, what? We don't know why you turned. Tell us, man.
Here's a thought. Okay. Yes. Just hear me out. And WWE isn't this smart, but they should do it this way. Right?
Okay.
So you have the Fiend attack Finn and kind of put him away for a while, and then he shows up at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And then Finn goes after Gargano and knocks him out for a time.
Mm-hmm.
What if somehow, some way, they all tie back to the Fiend? Wouldn't that be interesting? As to why they've turned into the people they are.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine with it. Whatever. I just want to know why Johnny's like a freak noodle now.
I think if they did it that way, I think it'd be kind of interesting. They won't, but I think it'd be a cool little twist.
Plot twist,
Gleen, did you like the women's steel cage match? Good match. And Gonzalez was pulling the steel cage. New and smart NXT. Yes. I thought it was good the way they did it, just because it was different.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this one story about Andre the Giant, if you don't mind me sharing it. Go ahead, Clark.
So, we then get told next week Redding Grimes versus Lee for the North American title, and we're also getting the Bruiserweights versus Undisputed Era for the tag team titles. Alrighty then. We then get Velveteen Dream versus Roddy Strong in the main event. Marina ends up bringing out Roddy kendo stick. Undisputed Era then comes out to try and help. Dream then, in the ending of the match, he pushes Roddy out of the cage because Cole is in the ring. He climbed the cage and he got in and tried to help Roddy win and stuff. Dream was thinking about the bigger picture, I suppose. And he pushes Roddy out of the cage, costs the match for himself. He cost himself a match?
Yes.
That'd be English. And then Dream gets a hold of Cole. He locks them, the two of them in the cage, and then he just beats the crap out of him.
Yes.
Beats the literal crap out of him, and well, not the literal crap, because that would have been a little weird.
Gross.
But I
don't want to see poop on the floor.
But that was that. And then it ends with the Velveteen Dream sitting on top of the cage holding the NXT title. This is going to be the matchup at NXT TakeOver Tampa.
Yes.
And Velveteen Dream is walking out with the title. Adam Cole's not retaining.
Yes.
Velveteen Dream will walk out NXT champion.
I think so.
And it will be over. So.
Andre, when he wrestled in Japan, would have to go number 2 on newspapers and in bathtubs because the toilets were too small for him. I thought that was funny. I'd heard something about that, Clark, which doesn't surprise me. You know, it probably if he went, there's probably places in Europe he had to do that. I'm guessing. I don't think he did an elbow drop from the top of the cage. Well, I expected it and forgot about it till now.
I know. He didn't do anything
let me know
crazy.
when I should send you guys a pack of WCW trading cards. Little Fed Shitty, we are working on getting an address that we can have stuff sent to.
Yes.
We're going to have a P.O. box.
Yes.
So as soon as we get that up and running, I will let you know.
Yes.
Jeff said he wants Roman Reigns at Mania and wanted to face Roddy and said he wants he wants no more World back again. Yes.
So, oh my gosh, guys. So yeah, Jeff Hardy is cleared. He's cleared to wrestle. He's been at SmackDown the last couple weeks.
And he's been in rehab.
And he has, yeah. He was in rehab, and so.
It's gonna be hard to find someone as good as Andre the Giant.
So.
For a guy that's that big that does those types of things.
So he's been at SmackDown the last couple weeks. He's just trying to find a spot where he fits in and where he can come back at. And then we got another Hall of Fame person, JBL, is going into the Hall of Fame. It was announced last night.
Yes, I did see that.
I've seen a couple people being like, I don't think JBL should go in. Personally, I think it's fine.
I think you have to put it in.
You have to. He's done so much for the company, not only as a wrestler, but as an announcer, but as, you know, charity stuff. He's done so much to help WWE. That I think he had to go in, and he's been with the company for, like, forever.
Yeah.
Like, back when he was the Bradshaw dude with the, you know, the hat and stuff.
Yeah. And
then, you know, APA, and then he fought John Cena, and he was JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, and all this fun stuff. And
yeah.
He's had a very decorated career. Kind of makes me want to go back and watch.
I agree. I think that
it kind of makes me want to go back and watch some of the old JBL stuff because I haven't watched it in forever.
Well, I think the one thing
he was a very good heel. He was very good at what he did.
Well, I think that he goes in just because not just because of his wrestling stuff. I think it's because of everything he's done for the company. I think that's the big thing. Mhm. Because I think if it was just strictly on his wrestling, I think there's some other wrestlers that deserve it before he does. But I think because of some of the other things he's done for it, I think that he has to go in. But I think there's some other, like, since they have the famous people section of it or whatever they call it, there's some people or one person in particular that I think should be in there before, like, Donald Trump.
I know we always go back to this. I agree with you on this. I think it's ridiculous that Donald Trump.
My best JBL was when he had a feud with Eddie and he kicked the Mexican in the woods of Texas.
Yeah, the JBL Eddie feud was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun feud.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It makes me want to go back and watch some of the old JBL stuff. Some of the old, you know.
I thought of the Big Show as Andre the Giant of the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. I would agree. The only thing is because of how big Andre was and the stories that you heard about him, I think that he was like a living legend. I mean, I heard he was like a gentle giant, but I heard if you like made him mad, he was like dangerous. I heard that Big John Studd didn't like wrestling him because Andre didn't like him for whatever reason.
And he was worried that Andre was going to sit on his chest and kill him.
Well, when he did his chops, it was like...
Whoa!
Yeah. Getting hit by a tree.
So,
who should Jeff Hardy feud with, though?
I don't know. I really don't. I feel bad that Jeff still has to stick around WWE for another, couple of years or so, however long his contract is. Because I think they added another year on his contract because he was injured.
Yeah.
And so it sucks for him that he's got to do this alone without Matt. And then, like, I think as soon as his contract is up,
I would say he probably leaves.
He's probably done. He's gonna like, deuces, peace out, you know.
We know who should induct in JBL, Mr. Farouk.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ron.
I don't know who he should face. I think it depends on what they want to do with him. Jeff Hardy versus Lucha House Party.
No thanks.
Big Show was also awesome in WCW as the Giant. Yes, in fact, when he came in, I thought that was pretty cool. J-Bone, did you hear WWE might sign back Davey Boy Smith Jr.? I hope he doesn't do it. Just a simple fact that they have messed up so many people. And I think that if I was anybody that had a name, I would be seriously looking to sign somewhere else. Because right now, WWE is a place you go to die as a wrestler.
Yay.
Just my opinion.
Okay, so...
Now, it doesn't mean they can't change. So, you know, I think they just need to do some things.
I want to know who you think. I've got a couple questions. So with the
John, I wouldn't have an issue with them like reuniting. With
the 4 that we have announced for Hall of Fame currently, I think JBL might be pretty obvious as to who's going to induct him. I would say it's probably going to be Ron Simmons.
Yeah.
What about Batista?
Could be him.
Not for JBL. I meant who's going to induct Batista.
Could be him.
I
have no idea.
Triple H? Ric Flair? It might be Ric Flair.
Ric Flair would probably die walking to the podium.
Or if they have some dude attack.
Since they're kind of...
If some dude tries to attack him like they did Bret Hart last year.
I don't think Ric Flair will do it just because of the lawsuit that's going on. Just my opinion. Jeff Hardy versus... I hope Jeff doesn't have to face Dolph. I mean, facing Dolph wouldn't be so bad, I guess.
Batista introduced by Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think to me, either Triple H or Ric Flair would make a lot of sense for Batista because I feel like that's where the majority of his career stood was with Evolution, and Ric Flair was like helped him with what he was doing. New World Order, who's going to induct them? Who's going to bring them out? I really don't know. Bischoff, maybe?
That's what I would say.
Did they get Bischoff to do it?
I mean,
after, Vince fired him from SmackDown.
I don't know.
I think Bischoff would make the most sense.
I felt sorry for Tegan James. Mm-hmm. Maybe when Bret Hart was
the Talk Wrestling, and then AEW came. That's the last time the Revival was relevant, was when they attacked the dude, punched the guy in the face.
What's the worst women's match you have ever seen? That's a good question, because there's some... And there's been some bad men's matches that I've seen, too, so... I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I'd have to go back and watch some of them just to, refresh,
Out of recent memory, the worst women's match I've seen is Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander. That was pretty bad. Out of recent memory, that'd be the worst one I've seen in the last couple months.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Probably.
It was not good.
No,
it was not good. So then the last one would be the Bella Twins. Who's going to induct them?
Daniel Bryan.
I would have said, because thinking about it, Arn Anderson has always talked very highly of them, and, it was I helped them and stuff, and, it was cool. So I would have said Arn Anderson, but
No, maybe when the guy attacked Brett, everybody ran like they saw Grandma's cookies.
I would have said him because he always talks so highly of them, and the Bella Twins always, they give him credit for helping them out.
Batista introduced by Rey Mysterio.
Oh, that might be a possibility too.
They got to get a stand for Rey Mysterio to stand on so you can see him.
So I don't know who's gonna induct the Bella Twins.
Because you won't be able to see him over the podium.
I don't know who's gonna induct him.
I don't have anything against short people.
I'm short.
I know.
I'm a lot taller than I used to be.
I don't have anything against short people. Just saying.
Does Dream even need the belt, though?
The Bella Twins is introduced by Alicia Fox.
I don't think Dream needs the belt, but I think they're going to give it to him anyways.
But I think that... And I have no clue what they're doing. With anything.
Obviously, you don't work for NXT.
Well, it's WWE in general. Like, who they're going to move around. Because I think there's going to be some people moving around. So I think it just depends on that.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've covered everything. NW is introduced by Jimmy Hart. I don't even think it was...
I think Eric Bischoff makes the most sense for them.
Bischoff makes most sense to me. Little fettuccine, as soon as we get our post office box, I'll let you know. We'll let everybody know. I like to see AJ Lee make a return. Yes, I agree. I thought she was going to at one time and then didn't. With that, we're going to take off. We'll be back on Friday, SmackDown.
Yes.
We'll have our SmackDown show on Friday.
Yes.
I heard Wyatt Goldberg was terrible. I didn't think it was too bad. Some people didn't like it. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good the way they did it.
I didn't like the fact that the jackhammer was a suplex and he couldn't get him. Oh!
Okay,
one second.
Okay,
hold on one second. I listened to Busted Open Radio the other day, and I was listening to Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca talk about this, and I think they explained it very well why they had to do it. I still don't agree with the fact that Goldberg should have won the title. All of this was done to get Roman more over at WrestleMania. It's either going to work or it's going to backfire. I don't know which. But I do agree with everything they said, and I think it's very logical, the reasoning behind why they did this. I still think it was stupid, though. Also, when they explained the MJF Cody match, when they talked about that, and where I was like, I just didn't love that match so much, and like there was just something about it that I just didn't love. Bully Ray explained it. He was like, there was like a lot of like, huh? You know, like, when did MJF get busted open? Shouldn't that have been like a huge part of the match? And everybody was like, oh my gosh, you know. And then he was busted open, and nobody was quite sure how it happened. And you know, with the ring, and a lot of people probably didn't even see what happened because of how quick it was. And it just like happened in an instant, and everybody was like, huh? And like, that is 100%, I think, why I was just like, it just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, you know? So, they explained stuff very well.
Dennis Robinson introduced the NWO. That's funny. Do you think we would ever see Sasha Banks, Naomi, Tamina, and his team again? Hey, never say never.
Yes, never say
John
never.
L. Never say never.
Never say never.
I think we're going to take off. John L., we'll be thinking of you. Sorry to hear about your grandpa.
Yes.
Everybody else, we'll be back, including you, John L. We'll be back Friday. Everybody have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good... Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Good night.
Good.
Yeah. That's what I missed.
Good evening. Good
We'll
afternoon.
be back tomorrow.
Good morning.
Friday.
Good night.
With the SmackDown. Everybody, peace out.
Peace out, guys.